While war reshaped the lowlands and kingdoms burned beneath ambition, the heights of Hilltops remained untouched, almost as if the world below did not exist. King Edwin lived as though time itself had chosen to favor him alone. In his mountain kingdom, wealth flowed endlessly: gold, fine stones, wine, lavished not only upon himself, but upon his nobles and people alike. Feasts were constant, music echoed through the high halls, and the people of Hilltops knew comfort rather than fear. To Edwin, the mountains were not just protection, they were certainty. No army had ever broken through them, no enemy had ever climbed high enough to challenge his throne, and so he indulged, believing distance was safety, and safety was permanence. But far from the quiet arrogance of the mountains, in the harsh lands of Zaranga, King Bushalami received news that broke the rhythm of his rising dominance. His general, one of his strongest, was dead. Not fallen in battle against a great army, not overwhelmed by numbers, but cut down by a single force led by Sir Bear. For a moment there was silence, then anger, not loud, not wild, but controlled, sharpened into something far more dangerous. Bushalami did not see defeat, he saw insult. His victory over Tyre had been complete, his dominance unquestioned, and now this was resistance, unacceptable. His mind did not turn to retreat, but to continuation. If Tyre still breathed, then it would be suffocated. If anything remained, it would be crushed. He began to plan, not just another attack, but an aggression that would ensure nothing rose again from its ashes. Meanwhile, among the ruins of what once was Tyre, Sir Bear stood not as a warrior, but as a brother. The battlefield had fallen silent, but within him the noise had not. Jamtolo was gone. The weight of that truth settled heavily upon him, not as weakness, but as something deeper, loss that even strength could not overcome. For all his skill, for all his victories, there was one thing he could not defeat: absence. Yet grief did not stop him, it sharpened him. Somewhere beyond the destruction, beyond the smoke and scattered survivors, was Prince Rondell, the last thread of Tyre's future. Bear began his search, moving not with the fury of battle, but with the precision of purpose. Every trail mattered, every rumor carried weight, because if Rondell was lost, then Tyre was truly gone.
But fate had already taken a darker turn. Not far from the roads leading towards Sigred, a group of traders from Sigred moved along their usual routes, unaware of the greater war unfolding around them. It was by chance, or perhaps something else, that they found him. A young boy, worn, collapsed, barely holding on to life. They saw not a prince, not an heir, but opportunity. A slave, weak, alone, and without protection. They took him without question, binding him to their journey, giving him no name, no recognition. Rondell, son of a king, heir to a fallen kingdom, was reduced in a single moment to something less than he had ever imagined, and he was too weak to resist. In Sigred itself, another conflict was unfolding, not of swords, but of will. Queen Amanda had begun to see the shape of the Eastland changing, the alliances forming, the dangers rising. She understood what Dalot was doing, how he moved between kingdoms, building ties, shaping outcomes. But she also saw something else: risk. King Aaron, despite his ambition, was now exposed, caught between war and uncertainty. And to her, leaving him to fall was not strategy, it was imbalance. She approached Dalot not as a challenger, but as a partner, urging him to act, to support Aaron, to stabilize what was quickly becoming unstable. But Dalot did not respond as she expected. He listened, and then resisted, not openly, not aggressively, but with quiet reluctance. His plans were already in motion, his attention divided between the Salt Isle and Tyre, between influence and control.
To him, helping Aaron was not necessary, not yet, and perhaps not at all. Amanda saw this, and for the first time, doubt began to form, not just in his decisions, but in the man himself. Across the Eastland, the lines between strength and vulnerability were shifting. A king indulged in comfort, unaware of the storm below. Another prepared to strike again, driven by pride and anger. A warrior searched through ruin for the last hope of a broken kingdom. A prince walked unknowingly into bondage. And in Sigred, a queen began to question the path her king had chosen. The war was no longer just about conquest. It was becoming something else, something deeper, something far more dangerous.